El título de este libro suyo, el que produjo más impacto, yo me acuerdo haberlo visto una vez en la librería pasada y me saltó Más Platón y menos Prozac. Es un título provocativo, la depresión. Me gustaría que me explicara qué hay detrás de esta confrontación o de este duelo entre estos dos titanes, Platón y Prozac.
This is a very old kind of dualism. You can think of it as having its roots in Descartes, if you like, the dichotomy between the mind and the body. And these are interacting domains, I believe. No one can really explain how they interact, but it's very clear that if the body is not healthy or is in an ill state, then the mind is affected and we're less than functional. But also, we have the power to affect our bodies for better or worse by the contents of our minds too. In general, I have seen in the last half of the 20th century a great development of science and technology in the West, which has on the one hand increased life expectancy and made all kinds of alternatives available to people, but on the other hand has tended to make people over-dependent on external things for their own well-being. And in America in particular, and owing to globalization in general, there has been a spread of this idea that the solutions to all our problems lie outside ourselves. And beyond that, the pharmaceutical industry, to be very candid with you, has colonized and lobbied the psychiatrists and the clinical psychologists to turn them into diagnosticians. Every possible human complaint or discontent is now potentially a disease that is diagnosed. And of course, where there's a diagnosis, there's a drug. So we have a generation of essentially licensed drug pushers who are helping to spread this. It's very good for business on the one hand, but not so good for the human soul and the human mind on the other.
Voy a hacer una pregunta bien directa y bien prosaica. Voy a aterrizar esto. ¿La filosofía puede curar la depresión? ¿Puede ser una alternativa, por ejemplo, a la psicología, al psicoanálisis y al Prozac, efectivamente? ¿Y en qué sentido? Me gustaría que me explicara eso.
Those are 5 questions, I think, but cure, no. I would not say that we are curative. I would say that we can do what Socrates hoped can be done, and that is to be midwives who induce the inner wisdom of our clients to cure themselves. That's definitely something that works. We are not seeking to replace psychology or psychiatry or psychoanalysis. These are all important pathways for understanding different aspects of ourselves, but we are functioning as an alternative that has been missing for a very long time. If you go to New York, or I'm sure on the streets of Santiago, you will find people who are undoubtedly mentally disturbed. We are not denying the validity of mental illness. If I take you on a tour of the New York subway, then you'll see people who need más Prozac y menos Platón, inevitably. But seriously, for most of us, there's a great power in ideas, and the philosopher has the ability to awaken ideas in the mind. In the long run, we are governed by our principles, not just by our appetites and our emotions.
Aparece una nueva figura, digamos, a ver, si alguien, cualquier ser humano tiene un problema, o, a ver, de sentido, o de tristeza, o de depresión, puede que esté el cura en la iglesia. Antes existía el cura en la iglesia, el confesor. Bueno, luego llegó el psicólogo, el psiquiatra, el médico, el psicoanalista, el chamán, bueno, hay una cantidad, ¿no?, de figuras nuevas. Y aparece esta nueva figura, que es el consultor filosófico. ¿Qué hace un consultor filosófico?
Let me give you a metaphor, if I may. Okay? Suppose you have a stone in your shoe, obviously causing you some discomfort. So maybe a figure from organized religion will tell you that you're born with a stone in your shoe. And it's your penance to carry this stone in your shoe all your life and hope in the next life that the stone will be removed by God. Someone else, maybe the psychologist, will ask you, how do you feel having a stone in your shoe? Tell me all about the emotions of having a stone in your shoe. And maybe the psychoanalyst is going to say, You know, when you were a little child, you know, tell me how you came to have this stone in your shoe, and what makes you say that you have one anyway, and all of this sort of questioning. A philosopher is much more likely to tell you, especially an American pragmatist like myself, take the stone out of your shoe. Muy amable. Muchas gracias. De nada.
De nada.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.